She was terrified, pinned under a man twice her size, but Emily McDivitt didn't give in. She fought back.
Preliminary hearing is underway in Colorado to determine whether there's enough evidence to put Kobe Bryant on trial for sexual assault.
Commander-in-Chief Barack Obama is calling the elimination of sexual assault in the military a priority and said leaders at all levels will be held accountable for bringing it to an end.
Florida State Attorney William Meggs said that FSU quarterback Jameis Winston will not be charged in any sexual assault. As I'm joined by the
telling a story
on the phone,
that you might help
Michael McCann.
Violence, sexual assault, they're things that are little touchy subjects for people to talk about, but if we do talk about them and raise a little awareness, I think that's the only way we can solve the issue.
The counseling center, for pretty much last 5-6 years of data that we have available, we've been seeing 50 to as many as 75 students who have experienced sexual and relationship violence. And our services include advocacy, counseling, ongoing support. We will meet with students at public safety and residence halls. We will basically meet students where they need to be met.
I felt that they're taking away and minimizing a little bit the issue of relationship violence and sexual assault. And on a college campus where that's the most prevalent time in a young person, especially a young female's life, to experience violence like that, I just think that's a poor message.
I myself am a survivor of sexual assault my freshman year, and I've used that story to kind of propel this momentum of students who say that taking away that center was wrong. And I've used my personal story to help sort of amplify that voice. I went to the Advocacy Center as a volunteer first, and while I was there I realized what had happened to me and I began to process it, and that place was so vital to my undergraduate career here and my success here. I often say that if I hadn't have had the Advocacy Center, I probably wouldn't have graduated.
One of the misconceptions that's out there is that students won't go to the counseling center, whereas really they have been, and I think the important part for us is to make clear we don't look at this necessarily as a mental health issue, we look at this as a support issue, and making sure that the students know that we are larger than just that. I think misconception of what mental health services are. I think the stigma around seeking mental health is something that can be a barrier to students, and we want to, mental health services, and we want to make clear to students that we are here to support and to advocate for, and it's not necessarily about a quote mental health treatment.
I almost transferred and went back home during my freshman year, but I found the Advocacy Center and found that community, and it's what made me stay. So my opinion about the Advocacy Center being taken away is obviously coming from a very personal place, and that it really helped me become who I am today. And I think in general it's just an important statement that universities can make, that sexual assault and relationship violence is real, that it happens on campuses, and having a center solely dedicated to that shows that the university thinks it's an important issue.
Well, one of the things I would like to do is bring sort of my campaign that I started in undergrad to the campus of Syracuse and start Love Doesn't Shove here. And maybe it could be a support group or maybe just an educational thing.
I think one of the positives of this change is that the peer educator groups are still intact, and they're still going to be doing programs regarding prevention of sexual assault and relationship violence on campus. So that portion is still there. It's going to be tough for the counseling center to recreate the Advocacy Center, but I think the best possible thing for them to do is just focus on breaking down some of those barriers to students accessing services.
So at the end of the day, I really respect and really appreciate that our students, our faculty, and our staff have mobilized around this issue. In my opinion, if there's a really long-lasting impact that I hope can come out of the petition and some of the faculty statements that have been put in response to the reorganization of the university, If all of that energy could go towards changing the rape culture and really making this a campus where we don't tolerate those behaviors, that for me would be a beautiful ending to this story.